Hello everyone and welcome to Jack Stedman Rants. So today CollegeHumor put out a video called I Don't See Race, and the comment section blew up, and so I thought I'd put in my 2 cents about what it is to be colorblind, which not in the physical sense, not being able to see red and green and whatever, but in the philosophical sense, as in I'm not going to judge people by their race or gender, which it always confused me why the social justice left was so against this idea that we should not judge people by the color of their skin. Like they bring up these issues like if you have a white sounding name, your job application will get you further. A name like Jack Stedman will, according to them, get me further along than a name like, I don't know, Tyrone or Shaniqua or whatever. And it seems like the answer to that is to have colorblind hiring, for example. So you are sure that people are hiring strictly based off of merit. But they seem to go in the opposite direction and push for quotas, saying, you have to hire X amount of this kind of person or else you're a bigot. So the way I think about being colorblind is that if everybody was, quote, colorblind, and I don't even like calling it that. I don't like saying I don't see color, because that's not what it is. It's not that you can't see it. I can differentiate between black people, white people, Asians, men, women, whatever, obviously. But the point is that you choose not to ascribe any other characteristics to them besides, what you can obviously physically see. Um, and I guess part of it is that that goes against the idea of, say, white privilege. They want to be able to look at a white person and say, oh, that's an oppressor. Their life has been better in certain ways. They want to be able to look at a black person and say, oh, that's a victim. Their life has been bad in these certain ways. Society has oppressed them in these certain ways. And people who don't want to judge people based off of their skin color, they people on the left think that they are just kind of avoiding the issue. They think that people who don't want to judge people based off the color of their skin think that racism and sexism just aren't a problem. They just want to ignore the problems of the world and be able to say and do whatever they want without consequence. But here's how I think about philosophy and why I think this is a good one, is that if every single person in the world decided not to judge other people by the color of their skin or by their sex and gender or whatever you want to call it, then the world would be better. Then so many of these problems would go away. If everybody would take on this philosophy, then we wouldn't need to worry about systemic oppression or how, the white man is keeping the black man down, because they wouldn't be. It would just be a meritocracy. Yeah, the comments section of that video is really interesting. I definitely recommend checking it out. Again, it was I Don't See Race by CollegeHumor. People were confused whether or not it was for or against social justice. People were arguing about, whether or not it's okay to not judge people based off of their skin color, which is weird. It's just so mind blowing that that's the stance that the left takes. Is no, you need to have a hyper focus on these characteristics. And I mean that's where things like Black Lives Matter come from, and LGBTQ centers on college campuses. It's all about a hyper focus on what divides us, and it becomes unhealthy, and it furthers the gap in society between, say, straight white males and LGBTQ POCs. It the way to get past societal divides, to minimize sexism, racism, whatever, is to judge people based off their character, is for everyone to just accept that we're all human beings and a certain skin color doesn't matter. And, even with another thing that doesn't make sense that the left takes this position on is something like Islamophobia. They think that so many people on the right think that all Muslims are terrorists, for example. Well, wouldn't the correction to that be to be, quote, colorblind, to not judge people based off of their skin color? Or, I mean, I guess in this case it's their religion, but in the mind of the left, it is skin color. Same with immigration and a lot of the things they accuse the right of being. If in their mind the people on the right are so bigoted, then wouldn't it be better if they if they weren't bigoted? Like that's literally not what being, quote, colorblind is not being bigoted. So anyway, it just drives me crazy, and I had to get this off my chest. Sorry, this was a little this rant wasn't so well put together, but I think you get the point. It drives me crazy. So that's all I'm going to say for now. Have a wonderful day, and bye.